I was 16 years old when I first moved from Bangalore to Bombay. A young kid with stars in her eyes of a big dream. I joined the modeling industry very soon after and was approached by the Times of India to be part of the Miss India contest. But I had a really clear dikkat from my mum. There was no way that I could participate in Miss India until I was a graduate. So that's what I did. I finished college, I waited until I graduated, and I participated in the Femina Miss India in 2000. It was a year that was a glorious one for India. The winners that year were Priyanka, Dia and myself, and I was the first one to go represent India at the Miss Universe contest, which was held in Cyprus in May that year. Of course, there were very, very high expectations. Nobody had brought the crown back for the last 7 years since Sushmita Sen. And I was confident but extremely nervous, and it's a lot of pressure for a young 20-year-old to have on her shoulders. But I think it was also one of the most incredible 3 weeks of my life. The lessons that I learned in Cyprus, participating in this pageant with over 90 countries, the kind of girls that represented their countries. They were professional, they were beautiful, everybody was a winner. You looked around you and every girl looked like she would walk away with the crown. So it was just, you put your best foot forward and with a smile on your lips and a prayer in your heart, you literally went through those 3 weeks. It was absolutely fantastic, the kind of training program that the Miss Universe contest has. They obviously expect you to get there completely groomed and ready to be the representative for your country. But they also have a wonderful 3-week program that you go through. And I remember the final selection actually happens for the top 10 girls before you even get onto that stage on the final night of the pageant. So we had an entire panel of judges that interviewed the girls one-on-one, and they picked the top 10 girls who will compete for the title that night. So your fate is kind of almost already decided before you even get to the final night of the contest. The top 10, I was the 9th name to be called. By the time they called the 7th country, I thought my time was done and I should pack my bags and head off, and you console yourself. The ride has been great. It's been a fantastic experience, but India was the 9th name to be called out, and I still remember the feeling of huge amount of relief and thinking to myself, well, at least I can go back home and I can say, I made it to the top 10. And the rounds get even more challenging post that. You go from being 10 to 5. I think for the 5 countries, I was number 4 again that was called out, and you have a one-on-one on stage. You're a bundle of nerves, of just nervous energy, and you don't know what you're going to be asked. I was actually asked to do Bharatanatyam on stage, and I wasn't expecting that. So in my beautiful Hemant Trivedi red gown, there was no way that I could get into any kind of Bharatanatyam positions and show them or bust a few moves, as they would say. So I saved myself and the day by thinking pretty quick, giving them a few mudras, so keeping them happy, giving them a little something, not completely leaving them high and dry. But I didn't know it then, but apparently that struck a chord with the audience there that night, with the judges, but also with the television audience, and they felt, it was quick thinking, so that kind of helped. The top 3 was nerve-wracking, and the girls that made the top 3 were always favorites throughout the entire contest. There was Venezuela, Spain and myself, and I think the question that they asked us was pretty relevant to the political scenario that was present in Cyprus at that point of time. Through the entire 3 weeks we had a lot of protests. Cyprus and Turkey were having immense amounts of issues. There were a lot of religious groups that were opposed to the fact that the Miss Universe pageant was being held in Cyprus. So I wouldn't say that the last question came as a complete surprise, but like I said, I think it was a very, very relevant question to be asked. And I knew that if I was asked why women participated in Miss Universe, I knew what my answer was, and I think it came from the heart. The fact of the matter is that in India, for us, as girls coming from smaller towns than the metro cities. I mean, Bangalore was in such a small town 15 years ago, but it was still smaller than Delhi or Bombay was. And I think that the entire Miss India pageant, as well as winning Miss Universe, would have given me literally the world on a platter to choose to go into any field that you become a household name overnight, and it gives you an opportunity to foray into whichever field that you choose to be part of. And so the answer that I gave was, something that I felt was from the heart. And I didn't know it then, but I actually didn't know it for a long time, that my scores that night, especially with the question answer round, were well, the highest that they've ever been at the Miss Universe pageant ever. So that's always a really nice, I think, record to hold until, of course, somebody comes along and breaks that. And I look forward to that as well. And I hope the girl who does break it will be a girl from India. Because I don't think that there's anything more wonderful that could happen to a young lady in her life than being the queen of the universe. So I ask all you girls out there who want to live this dream, come and apply. Log on to www.missdiva.com. Send in your entries to us. I would love to mentor you through this entire process, and I would love to see a confident, beautiful, intelligent woman out there bringing this crown back.